Oh, she's been my life, really, and I've been hers, I suppose. It's not been a quiet partnership at all, and it's not been without its ups and downs, and I misbehaved badly when I was on the booze. She's a very remarkable woman, actually.
She keeps sort of away from the limelight these days. She used to be on television herself, but she didn't want to be here, for example, on camera.
She doesn't like it. She won't talk about herself to me. The thing that I've always admired about Mary in our relationship was she's never stopped me from changing. Never, ever interfered at all.
Your father, what I loved was his love of Yorkshire cricket was so fervent that in those days, to play for Yorkshire, you had to be born in Yorkshire.
He did.
And he basically kidnapped your pregnant wife.
He did. Yes, I had a perfectly reasonable arrangement with the National Health Service in Manchester. He rang me up, he said, "Job's done." I said, "What job is that?" he said, "Mary." I said, "What about Mary?" "I moved her." I said, "You moved her?" He said, "Aye." He said, "I moved her to Wakefield, to a nursing home." I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, Manchester's in bloody Lancashire." I said, "And?" He said, "Well, if he's born there, he can't play for Yorkshire."
Your father's death was obviously a huge moment in your life. Did you realise just how bad his health was?
I knew there was an inevitability about an early death as soon as he was diagnosed. You know, you could see him withering away, in a sense. And for a man as vigorous as he was, it was like watching leaves fall from a tree. The extraordinary thing that I'd seen people killed in war zones. I'd seen dead bodies and all that. But I'd never seen anybody I loved die, and somebody die. The thing that remains in my mind and kind of nags me like a nightmare is that he had two guys came along to actually take the body away. And I didn't want to see that at all. And so I went downstairs with Mary, was standing at the bottom of the stairs. And they had a little bag. And he was in it. I couldn't bear the thought. Like a parcel. I'm sorry about that. I see the image very clearly, and I thought it's got to be more than that, you know. Sort of carry him out in a little plastic bag.
Did you get a chance before he died to say all you wanted to say to him?
Yeah, well, he knew. He knew how much I loved him, and I never found it difficult to say that to him at all. No, to me. That he was a funny guy, and I just wish I'd been as nice a man as him.
And he did, fortunately, live long enough to see you do some incredible things. I mean, when he watched you interviewing Muhammad Ali,
well, that was hilarious.
He was the biggest star in the world, in many ways.
He was at the show when we had that row. I mean, it was nasty, that row. I mean, it's one thing rowing with a jockey, but Christ, when you're having a row with a 16-stone heavyweight champion. I was upstairs in the dressing room. There was a knock on the dressing room door. And I opened it, and there's my dad. He said, "Can I ask you a question now, Michael?" I said, "You can, Dad, yeah." He said, "Why didn't I thump him?" You're lucky to have a parent like that, and I apologise for I said, wasn't you wanted to make me weep, you bastard.
You know what I always think, though? It would always surprise me if somebody wasn't emotional, actually,
I think
about the people who meant the most to them in their lives.
That you really care for, and they really cared for you.
After your father died, you went through a pretty heavy period of drinking too much, and
I did.
I guess went slightly off the rails. Was that a direct consequence, do you think, of losing your father?
I'm not making excuses. Fleet Street, I mean, it was like Dodge City without the sheriff.
And the whole Fleet Street was just littered with pubs.
Absolutely. And so you go there and you drink and you drink and you drink and you wait for the phone call. If the phone call never came, you just continued drinking. And it didn't suit me at all.
You had a moment at Wimbledon when you fell on the express train track because you were drunk?
I'd often fall asleep on the train. And I woke with a jolt because the train, and I went like that. And I saw On. And I thought, I was going to Surbiton. And oh, Christ, I opened the door and I fell onto the track. And I scrambled up onto the platform. And 5 minutes later, the 9:23 to...
Wow.
Went by, but I was arrested by the transport police, who were very good. I mean, just at least being bloody stupid. No, give me a real telling off.
Mary said that drink made you ugly.
Yeah. She's just used the word that I didn't want to hear about myself. You know, your problem is when you get drunk, you're ugly. What? You know, I mean, and she was right. And so I more or less stopped straight away.
You met Mary for the first time in a rather unusual place.
I met her on top of a bus, yeah. And this vision in a red duffel coat, with golden hair, golden red hair, got on and sat in front of me. I thought I could look at that face for a long time. I thought, yeah.
And you have.
And I have, yeah.
Remember your first date together?
No, well, it had a problem. I mean, I was engaged and she was engaged.
You were both engaged?
Yes. So I know it's terrible.
That is complicated.
I know. Anyway, I went to the Denham Hotel in Doncaster and she was dancing with her boyfriend who was in the RAF. And I thought, this is my chance. So I interrupted them on the dance floor.
You split up Mary from her own fiancé and took the next dance.
And it wasn't my dancing that enchanted her. I don't know what it was at all.
You've managed to have this rock-solid marriage. What do you think the secret of a happy marriage and true love is?
I don't think you can lecture people about this at all. It's a great amount of luck. And, you know, Mary and I have been in a situation where we were willingly walk out on one another throughout our career. We certainly
have you come close to breaking?
Well, I once actually had my bags and standing outside our house. Mind you, she'd packed the bags. Not me, pal.